Okay, we should be live. I think it should be working now. It wasn't working. There we go. Is the audio good? Okay, it's good. All right, we're ready to roll. Welcome on in, Denmark, MP, Little Jaw, Kevin, C-Mail. How are we doing, everybody? So for those who missed my announcement around an hour ago, we have changed the plan slightly. What we were going to do today is we were going to go through 4 weeks, weeks 9 through 12, but we're going to be switching that. We're only going to do 2 today. We're going to go through 9 and 10 today, 11 and 12 most likely on Thursday, and then we'll be back on schedule. The trade deadline would be after week 12. So we're going to watch one game, and we're going to simcast 2 because week 9 ended in a tie. So I figured we would just simcast both. So we will be simcasting 2 very interesting interdivision matchups here with the Ravens and the Browns, and then the Riverhogs and the Condoms. Keep in mind, for the next stream in weeks 11 and 12, both of those matchups happen again. The Condoms play the Riverhogs again in week 11, and then the Ravens play the Browns again in week 12. So both of these matchups are going to happen again in the next stream. So it'll be interesting to see who gets the upper hand today here in week 9. Welcome on in, Boomy, Seafloor, Todd, Nick, Giddy. Anybody I missed? Time through Niles worthy to become God himself. I mean, he was God the first stream. The second one, not so much. Do Wednesday rather than Thursday. Unfortunately, that is not in the cards. We could do Friday if everybody would prefer that, but Wednesday, that's a no, unfortunately. Let's pull up the random number generator. Let's see which game we'll start with. The Ravens-Browns is 1, and then the Hogs and Condoms can be 2. It lands on 1. So we'll start with the Ravens and the Browns, and we will user the Browns. The last time we saw Lamar Jackson play against the Ravens, it did not go well for Baltimore. That really was like the peak of the Rams' success. And then ever since that watch game late last year, everything's kind of fallen apart for them. Do we have any specific jersey requests? Since it's a Simcast game, we can move quick here, but I'll let you guys pick. Although I don't think SG is here, so unless he's here within the next 2 minutes. 6:30 Thursday or After Dark Friday. That's an interesting idea. Battle of the mid. These teams are mid, you're saying? 5 and 2 Ravens and 6 and 1 Browns. These are probably 2 of the, at minimum, 4 best teams in the AFC. Maybe higher. Color Rush Browns. Okay, and then the Ravens, people want all black. I don't know if we want black versus brown, though. Why is the controller bugging? There we go. Okay. What about... The all-whites kind of go hard, though. Change Lamar... Oh, did I change it? I don't think I did. All right, we can do that real fast. And then I think for the Ravens, we should go all white. The Ravens all whites are clean. Can we get Mr. Bill Gundy in 12? I can do that as well. Let's find Mr. Gundy. What is he in currently? 84. Is 12 available by chance? Amazing. And then I imagine 8 is not. Otherwise, they would have given it to him. But we can check, just to make sure. 19 looks so... Ugh. Seahawks player wearing... I didn't even make that connection, you're right. A Seahawks player wearing 12. What happened to the game I love? Alright, who's wearing 8? Elijah Moore's wearing... Well, not anymore. You can wear 6 because, well, you don't score 6 very often. So there you go. And then Lamar can get 8. All right, now we'll be good to go. Perfect. Respect Browns legend Elijah Moore. You mean wide receiver 4 or 5 next year, Elijah Moore? Now that he's been replaced by $20 million per season man, Jerry Jeudy? Would the brown on purple look dumb? Or brown versus... I think we can work with it. Oh boy, fumble. I thought the brown on purple wouldn't really work, but I think we can manage. Alrighty, first of 2 Simcast games here for Week 9. The Ravens and the Browns, 2 of the best teams in the AFC in the same division. And the winner of this game will hold first place. How much is Judy? No, this is not OFL. Judy's getting paid 20 in real life. The Browns gave him a bag today. For whatever reason. Bro started this during my school day. I did, yeah. And? No more filler MLB episodes. There might be a couple more. I don't know. It won't be today. Excuse me. Yup, he got 3 years for $58 million today. There's a lot of money for a guy traded for a 5th. Ravens on the board. They lead 7-0, and they had the ball. So it's a good start here for Baltimore. The Browns respond. And, okay, that's it. On to the second half. Am I adding Snell, by the way? I will be adding Blake Snell. I had to redo, like, the entire spring training. It was a drag. But Blake Snell will be on the team, yes. Oh, wow, look at Cleveland go. They scored twice in the third. Ravens got to get something on 4th and 7. Okay, they kick. I don't know if I would have kicked there, but okay. They get the stop. We'll keep simming for now. All right, now Baltimore's offense is woken up. Now they're awake. Oh, they're awake all right. Do they get the 2? They do. Okay, so Cleveland has the ball. Is it too early to hop in? Or do we want to jump in now? We said we're watching the River... No, we're doing both games here for Week 9. I figured since they were both really good games and it tied, we're going to simcast both. I started a 2-way road to the show with a knuckleball throwing catcher. Oh, God. That is about the most memey player you can think of. It doesn't seem like we know what we want to do between hopping and simulating. Since it's even, I think we're going to hop in and watch. Damn, no Giants today. I think the Giants were on the poll at least once, but they did not win the vote, unfortunately. Oh, look at Eckler. He looked like he could actually run there. I don't know if you guys have seen the one clip. I think it was when the Chargers played the Packers this year, and Austin Eckler was going down the sideline, and it looked like he was lugging a piano on his back. He was going that slow. Nothing but haters. Lamar on the run. Incomplete. He was wide open. Gotta make that throw. Can someone tell in the chat why we're only doing 2 weeks? We're only doing 2 weeks today because I don't have time to do a 4-week stream like I initially thought I would. So I gave everybody the option to either... Oh, wow, big stop. I'll get back to my point in a second. Who's 96? Oh, that's Jordan Davis, the big fella. But, yeah, I was hoping I would have time for a 4-week stream today. I don't. So I gave everybody the option of either splitting it up. We do 2 weeks today, 2 weeks Thursday, Friday, whenever. Or we do all 4 weeks then, and it seems like more people wanted to split it up. And then will be the show coming out. Is not the only reason, but it was one of the reasons why I only wanted to do at most half today. Because I wanted to get the Giants episode up yesterday. I couldn't. So I don't want to wait any longer. I feel like it has to be today. Norris Doris makes that throw. I bet. Bryce Young, dangerous pass. Nearly intercepted by Derwin James, Bengal legend. Who dey? Bobby Strickland probably would have gotten sacked. Watch Doors is a different beast. I guess that's fair. He was good in that game. Cocky definitely makes that throw because it's a deep throw. If it's inside 20 yards, he's not making it, but otherwise he is. Nice hit by Myles Garrett. Demolishing Bryce Young in the backfield. I guess you got to punt it. I would trust the run defense. I think that's the right call. But with only being 5 yards away and only being down by 3, I can understand going for it. If they were down by like 5 or 6, I would definitely say punt it. But since a field goal would keep it as a one-score game, I'm honestly kind of talking myself into the idea of going for it. Hello, Alpo. Welcome on in. Jaime Calhoun would have ran it for a touchdown. That's a long run, though. I mean, if Lamar's not going to run it, is Jaime Calhoun going to do it? Does Lamar own Bryce Young at this point? I mean, they haven't even won this game, first of all. Let's slow down. And they play again in week 12, I think. If the Browns sweep them, then maybe we can have that conversation. But I'm definitely not ready to get that far ahead yet. Ooh, nice move by Eckler. Jukes away from, I think that's Kyle Duggar. But he's still wrapped up, and that leads us to the 2-minute warning and a gigantic 3rd and 1. If the Browns get this, they're in a good spot. Now, the Ravens still have all their timeouts. They probably won't after this play. No Eckler in the backfield. They're going to go with their power back. It's a handoff to the fullback, and he gets it. A fullback dive. The Browns going old school, and it works. Eckler now to the left side. Look at all that room, and he is still inbounds as well. And now the Browns can just taste it. In hindsight, it looks like the Ravens should have gone for it on their last drive. Another first down would end it for good, but it's not like done quite yet. Now the Ravens defense is making some plays. It might not matter. I know the Browns are going to be tempted to throw the ball here. They better not. I would rather have a lesser chance of getting the first down and give the Browns 20 seconds instead of giving them a minute. Why are they throwing it? All right, I will never doubt you again, EA. The Browns throw it for Lord knows what reason, and Michael Pittman, who's had an unbelievable season this year, comes down with it, and the Browns will hang on for the win. That's why Eckler is the best running back in OFL. I've heard good things about him on Madden, but I don't think we've watched him yet at all this year since he was on Washington last year, who obviously wasn't all that good. But now he is on a good team. And with that, the Browns with a big interdivision win against the Baltimore Ravens. And what? They would now lead by, I think, 2 games. So the Browns are going to hold first place in the AFC North for at least today. And again, these teams play each other in 3 weeks, but a big win here for Cleveland. Lamar Jackson, who had an MVP-esque season last year, has done it again this year, and he had a pretty good game today. As for Bryce Young, a lot more up and down. On the ground, 2.6 yards a carry. Good God, but he scored twice. Tyler Scott with a big game. Michael Pittman Jr. as well played well. Amon-Ra St. Brown, very quiet in his Baltimore Ravens debut. I tried to tell y'all that was not that bad of a trade for London. Lamar and Eckler is great in the regular season, but in the playoffs... I forgot that, yeah, those guys were on the same team. I didn't even think of that. I know Eckler has been a good FGFL running back this year, but I didn't even think of him and Lamar together. But, yeah, you're right. All right, on to the second game we're going to simcast this week. The lone undefeated team, the Albuquerque Condoms, at 7-0, lead their division, but there's a few teams in that division race, including Patrick Mahomes and the 5-3 Riverhogs. It lands on 2. We'll use the Condoms. Eckler was great for 2 years. Year 3 is rough. I would imagine with the regression sliders here, I don't know how different my sliders are from FG's, but they're not kind of running backs at all here. So, Eckler might be in trouble after this year, but for now he's fine. All right, what jerseys would we like? I don't think Giddy's here, but Nickinator is. Not that the relocation teams have a ton of choices anyway. Thanks, EA. So you've got some combination of, why is the controller being slow? You've got some combination of white, blue, and, like, dark blue. Can I get blue? Which blue? Do you want navy blue or, like, the lighter blue? Because this is what the lighter... Ooh, that's hard. I like that. And then the dark one... That goes well with the helmet. I think the light blue overall looks better like in a vacuum, but with the helmet, I like the dark look as well. And then condoms, I agree. I feel like it has to be all purple. What color would their alternate jersey be? Would it be like a different shade of purple? Ooh, yes. That looks clean. Yes, that's the move. Yes, absolutely. Okay, we're ready. Alrighty, so let's take a look at the undefeated 7-0 Condoms, who weren't all that good last year. They were pretty mediocre, but Giddy has gone all in on making this roster good for this year, and it has worked. Now, if there is one coach who knows a thing or two about starting the season undefeated and then collapsing the second half of the year, it is definitely Giddy. But maybe this year is different. Who knows? They're taking on the River Hogs, who just missed out on the playoffs last year. They're kind of on the fringe again this year, although I feel like they have taken a little bit of the step. When was the last team an OFL team was 10-0? It might have been the Bills. Because I know the Bills had a year where they lost one game. Dallas had a year where they lost like one or two games, so it's probably one of them. Wait, why are we watching? This is a Simcast game. What am I thinking? I guess we can watch the kickoff. Okay, there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the kickoff. All right, now we can sim. I'm used to clicking slow. Although I got it right the last game, but whatever. Okay, there we go. There's Mr. Mahomes, by the way. So the Hogs drive down the field. They score. It looked like they were driving again, but turned it over. So a slow start for the Condoms, but they're back in business. Not for long, though. 14-3. 17-3. Look at the Hogs. A big first half for Virginia Beach. Albuquerque's back in it with a score, but the Hogs get one right back. They lead 24-10 with the ball. Going into the fourth, and Saquon Barkley takes it 61 to the crib. And they lead 31-10. Condoms with a big fourth down. Another fourth down. They get it again. And they do score, but they're still down by 14. Another first down for the Hogs. Another first down. I think this game is over. They add another touchdown, and it is officially over. No more undefeated teams. The Condoms have been dethroned by the River Hogs, who dropped 38, winning a massive game for them. Had the Condoms won, they could have put themselves in a really good spot, being up by like 3 games on everybody in their division. But now it's an open race, and the Hogs are showing that they are one of the better teams in the AFC. Patrick Mahomes was pretty good. Joe Burrow was also pretty solid. Not really the reason why they lost. Saquon Barkley, hello. I still don't get that trade for the Cardinals. I feel like that's going to bite them in the butt. Hello, Saquon. Welcome back to Relevance. You mean the same Saquon whose team was in the NFC Championship last year? That Saquon? Oh, yeah, Saquon didn't even play in the playoffs last year. I forgot about that because he got hurt. Okay, well, scratch that. I mean, his team was there. Maybe the Cardinals won in spite of Saquon Barkley. Or no, they would have won because he was out. Oh, maybe that's why they traded him. All right, let's simulate. May the sim gods be in your favor. Unless you are the Titans, because that's who we play. Alrighty, let's take a look. I accidentally saw the Titans record. I think that means we won. But I could be wrong, and we're going to have to wait until the end. Dallas, welcome to the Dak Prescott era. You have a bye week. The Dreadnoughts lose to the Dildos, who we're going to get to watch here in Week 10 against Warren Flowers, the number 1 pick in the Seahawks, as Sam Howell continues to produce. Not often do you have an OFL Bowl champion quarterback who gets benched halfway through the season, but so far it's proven to be a really good decision for them. Josh Jacobs played well because he clears Nick Chubb, as always. 2 sacks for Dayo Odengbo, both of the rookies with big games. The Eagles lose to the Giants. Crack's first game as the coach, and he gets the win over the best team in the division. Sam is him, man. Santa is good in this game, and welcome on in, Jax. Eagles fan Jr., now the full-time starter. He ironically beats the Eagles, arguably outplaying Alpo. Alpo didn't turn the ball over, but he was also less efficient completion percentage-wise. Interceptions for both JOK and Roquan Smith, but it's not enough for the win. The Falcons lose again. They have not won since Week 1. Josh Allen was pretty good. Brock Purdy continues to not really be the problem, but he's also not really the solution. Lamar Duckett with a good game. These Falcon rookie receivers are insane. They only have 1 win, but these receivers are nasty. You should play Mac. Mac is an OFL Bowl champion, just saying. Niners handle business against the Voyagers. So it looks like they will hold the best record in the NFC today, being that Week 10 they have a bye week. Mixon and Connor each scored twice. Giants obviously won. Huskies lose to the Black Knights 28-24. I feel like every London game is like absurdly close. For better or worse. Now for better. Did you know that Crack has a 1,000 winning percentage all time? There is no better coach in OFL history winning percentage-wise than Crack. If they win again today, then Crack is going to have a couple days to smack talk you guys, and I imagine he is going to have a lot of fun with that. 4 sacks for Max Crosby, despite losing. The Jets, bye week, and they have a big game in Week 10. The Lions beat the Rams 24-3 because the Rams suck. Tommy DeVito is back at quarterback for Detroit, while Norris Doris was pretty, If you're getting blown out by the Lions, then there are some issues. Luckily for the Rams, they should have a top pick. Oh, wait a second. They don't have their pick. Got in an argument about Debo and said Puka is better. I would say Puka's probably better. I think, if the rookie has a really good season, then you should absolutely be able to rank them super highly. Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson are probably going to be top 5 running backs in the NFL over the next 5 years. I would have no problem ranking them in the top 5. Putting an aging veteran over those guys, like a Joe Mixon or a Saquon Barkley, would just be out of touch. Same with Puka. Puka a little bit less so because he was a mid-round pick, but he was good enough to where I'm willing to overlook the draft status just because he's so goddamn good. The Raiders have won 3 in a row. They beat the Bengals. Jordan Love wasn't all that good, though. Bro snuck in Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon was the first guy I thought of, okay? I couldn't think of anyone else off the top of my head. But you get what I'm trying to say. There's probably a better example. Because, if you're ranking Bijan and Gibbs below Joe Mixon, then you might need help. I was arguing with my friend the other night. He said Mixon is top 5. He's an Oklahoma fan. Well, that's probably why he said that. No, Joe Mixon's not top 5. Is he even top 15? He wasn't, horrendous last year. He wasn't that bad, but he has certainly taken a step back. Top 15 even might be rich. I don't know. Steelers lose to the Broncos. Steelers country. Let's steal? Well, they're not stealing wins. Why is Jameis so good? Ever since Tua got hurt, I think Tua comes back soon, but ever since Tua got hurt, Jameis Winston has literally saved the Broncos season. He's been good, or not even good. He's been outstanding in every game he's played. Chubb is still the second running back. Yeah, I agree with that. Nick Chubb is not an aging veteran. He's just a veteran. He hasn't gotten worse yet. But the guys who have gotten actually worse, I don't think you can rank them ahead of Bijan, Gibbs, Breece Hall as well. But Nick Chubb, you can still have ahead of those guys because Nick Chubb is that good. 35-14. Good stuff, fellas. Jalen Hurts with a good game. The MVP frontrunner. Wink, wink. Tyler Waters was pretty mediocre. Sean Tucker, regular day in the office. Good game from Hollywood. Then who had the sacks? 2.5. Would that be Joey Bosa? Yes, it would. Interceptions for the rookie, Omar Gibbs and Deron Bland. Love to see it. Voyagers got smacked. Dildos won. Bears beat the Cardinals 13-7. They get revenge for the game time last year. Geno Smith now at quarterback for Arizona. He was pretty mediocre. Justin Herbert also was not all that good. Duncan level glazing. Well, lucky for me, I get to glaze every week for the most part because these guys are cooking. Bengals lost. Knights won. Blues lose to the Chiefs. Kansas City still got some work to do within the division race after losing to the Chargers last week. And now that the Raiders are in it alive and well, too. Even the Broncos. Everybody in the AFC West won this week. Zach Charbonnet. Hello! He had himself a game. With Javonte Williams out, he got hurt in the watch game last week. 3 sacks for Hassan Reddick in the loss. Did we go through this game? I don't think we did. The Caps beat the Bulls 31-28. Good win for the Caps. Solid game from both C.J. Stroud and Niles Worthy in his Bulls debut. New running back for the Caps, DeAndre Swift, played pretty well. He's a Philly, Padres, Celtics, Sooner fan. That is one of the combinations of all time. How does someone root for, like, the Eagles? I assume that's who you mean by Philly. And then the Celtics. How does that happen? I don't think I was paying attention. That you did not play this week. You would have bye week. So, your only game today is the watch game. He likes the color green as a kid. Well, then how do you get the Padres in there? Josh Allen, Jameis Winston, Mike Hilton, and Max Crosby win the Players of the Week. Never seen someone switch up on one player as fast as people did with Niles. The thing with Niles, though, is like, I knew he wasn't like elite, but I was still enjoying seeing him do well. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten ahead of myself with him, but I was having fun seeing him produce. He loves Juan Soto. Who's going to tell him? The Browns now lead the AFC North by 2 games. Ravens are still very much in this race, but Cleveland, who's won 6 in a row, appears to be the favorite. In the South, Hogs with a big win. They are right in the thick of things. Their point differential for what it's worth is quite a bit better. And it seems like this is going to be a 2-horse race with the Titans having lost 3 in a row. I did not back down on my stance for them after they started 3-0. And it looks like I was right. The Dildos are now in first place in the East, albeit only by half a game. The Jets are right there. The Huskies are too. He doesn't like the Yankees, though. Okay, well, in that case, smart man. Chargers still lead the West by 2.5 games. I thought it was less than that. Good for us. But everybody in the AFC West is playing really well right now. So that could be competitive if we don't keep up our current pace. Bears lead the North because this division is not good. Panthers are only a game ahead of the Caps in the South, 2 ahead of the Bulls. Eagles are still ahead fairly comfortably in the East after losing. And then the Niners should win this division pretty easily unless Seattle has a big second-half surge. They do have a point differential of plus 26, so presumably they should improve. But who knows? He literally found out last night when he got on the show. That's crazy. Poor guy. So he's just been, what, in the dark for like 3 months? Poor guy. Does Warren have any abilities? Let's check. If you weren't with us when we were 1-16, don't be with us when we're 11-5. How are you going to be 11-5? Okay, it looks like he does. And obviously with any other player, you can feel free to switch these. Definitely a casual. Well, I guess casual would be one way to describe him after not knowing for 3 months. Number generator lands on 2. I think that's Seattle. I hope it is, because we're already on Seattle. (12-5). How are you going to be 12-5? Please enlighten me. Not every game can be a watch game. Oh, the Dildos are home. Okay, I guess we have to switch. Tyson Tyler now has his X Factor unlocked for what it's worth. Oh, the dildos are like literally right at the top. There we go. Madden's a droll. I'm very curious to see how this watch game goes because obviously the dildos are a lot better in watched. Sam Howell, Trayvon Diggs, etc. You get the point. This team is built for watched more than sim, whereas with Seattle, the one game they won last year was in watched. And obviously the biggest storyline is we get to see Warren Flowers in action. So what jerseys would we like? I don't think Danny's here, so I guess we can pick for him. Black. Do they have like an actual... I know they have like a dark one, but do they have like black in here? Obviously it's not that. 2000s alternate, okay. Well, that's not black. Is it like... this? Is it this one? It might be this one. Change the jersey. Okay, I see what you're saying. There we go. I imagine this is what you're looking for. Danny is here. Oh, perfect. What jerseys would you like? AR-15 turns it around and leads it to an OFL Bowl. You know what? I would be all for that. That would be a fun storyline. Is it going to happen? I don't know. But I would be all for that. There we go. All right, perfect. Howell revenge game. Yes, it is. The one game Seattle won last year was at the very start of the year with Sam Howell as the quarterback, but with the team struggling and the opportunity to get Warren Flowers, Sam Howell was kicked to the curb. He's been on like 3 different teams since then. He was with the Bulls for a short bit. I think he originally signed with Dallas. Ends up here with the Armadillos where he benches the reigning OFL Bowl champion quarterback Mac Jones. And he's been really good since then. And he has turned around what was a pretty slow start for the Armadillos. And as we know with the Dildos, if they can get into the playoffs, they can beat anybody. Because they did it last year. So for the sake of them not getting into the playoffs, go Seattle. I do not want to play them in the postseason if we don't have to. Sam Howell's 4-0 as a starter. Good God. And he's more of a watch game quarterback, I think, to begin with than a sim guy. And he's been great in sim. So Seattle's going to start on offense, which means we get a look at the #1 pick out of Oklahoma State, Warren Flowers, who's been solid this year. I wouldn't say he's lit the world on fire, but he's been pretty good. And now that he's a 90 overall, he's got his X factor. I imagine he's only going to get better and better. Why is this thing not activated? Do they have 3 X factors on their offense? No, there's no way. They don't have any. Why is this game like this with the rookies? I'll make sure to fix it after the game. Why is EA like this? Warren Flowers 3 interception game coming. At least he does still have all of his abilities, which I think he probably has unlocked all 5 at this point. So I don't think it should hurt him too much. But still, EA's stupid. Good throw on the run. Good tackle, though, by Trent McDuffie. This guy said AJ Terrell is better than Sauce. Tell him to find grass and touch it. AJ Terrell is a good player, but no. Just no. All right, here come the Dildos. Sam Howell, 4-0 as the starter for the Armadillos, looking to get revenge on Seattle. Sauce let ISHO Speed cook him, yet he's still the best cornerback in the NFL. I'm sorry. If that means Speed can play receiver in the league, then good for him. Big hit. Downs loses a yard. Jelani Salami brings him down. I'm rooting for you to lose this week because I want to remain in first place. If I was you, I would root for me to lose too, so I don't blame you. Sam Howell's picked off on 2nd and 11. So Seattle gets the ball with incredible field position. It's the rookie, Finn Harrison, who I believe is a user player. Comes down with the pick. Incredible field position here for the Seahawks. That was not a good throw at all. I think he was looking deep for the receiver on the outside. Is that Hunter Renfrow? Because I don't think Jackson Smith and Jigba is still healthy. So I think Renfrow would be the other receiver, along with obviously Danny Gray, OFL Bowl MVP, and Josh Downs. The better question is, why are you using Hunter Renfrow to stretch the field when you've got other guys who can do it? The Dildos might have the shortest receiving core in the league. Why is Hunter Renfrow not in the slot? The one, I think, good reason that you can have for Renfrow being on the outside is that the other receivers on this team are primarily slot guys, and he wants to prioritize their development, which is understandable. I would care about Josh Downs more, too. Flowers is going to run with it, and he dives in for a touchdown. Warren Flowers with the score. And it's 7-0. Please comment on my drip. Honestly, I think these jerseys look good in game. I dig it. Warren Flowers, I think, looks good. He's got aura. Sam forgot what team he was. He still thinks he should be on the Seahawks. Please use Tommy Chambers. I would love to see a Tommy Chambers game. That would be fun. But yeah, Renfro's the wide receiver 4 when everybody's healthy. So, even though he should not be on the outside running go routes, it's not like he's supposed to be starting. Norris lost all his aura in Sim. Yeah, he's cheeks in Sim. And watched, again, though he's a dog. Good run for Josh Jacobs as the Dildo offense looks to respond off the turnover. Hutch, rev them engines, boy. That's not Josh Jacobs. That's Josh Downs again. I wasn't looking at the start of that play. Did they run another jet sweep? Looks like they did, huh? Jaime Watch will have aura. I feel like he would be either a really good watch player or a really bad one, and no in between. Obviously, he has the athletic traits to be amazing. But I don't know. I'm curious to watch him at some point. Let a team with only slot guys cook the league for a season. Yeah, we did. Danny Gray's like the one kind of bigger guy, and he won the OFL Bowl MVP, so. Finn is a baller. Finn's looking good. Obviously, it's early, but he looks solid. 2nd and 8. Howell misfires. Who's my favorite to win the OFL Bowl? Other than the Chargers, because I know no one's going to like that answer, but I think it's true. Other than the Chargers, I would honestly have to say San Francisco. The Niners have watched pedigree. They've been really good this year, and they look like the best team in the NFC right now. So other than us, I would lean San Francisco, as Odafe Owe is in the backfield with the sack. I built a wide receiver core that complements and fits in super nicely, and Danny just gets slot guys. Give me the Jets as my favorites, low-key. I can't get behind like a 4-4 team being the favorite, though. Like, I feel like there's a difference between predicting them to win and calling them the favorite. Like, I could see a world where the Jets make a run in the playoffs. I have to see Cocky in a watch game first. I will not trust them until he proves it to me. But if he does, I think they can make a run. But I can't call them a favorite with the question mark they have at quarterback and their record. Nice sack by Kazir White, another former OFL Bowl MVP. We don't need to talk about which one. Imagine losing to a team that traded away their best defensive player. Couldn't be Alpo. They did trade away one of their better defensive players, though. But they also got an upgrade in the process, so. San Fran versus Charger OFL Bowl feeds families. Yes, it does. It works. Do you have a ring? No. Got him. Danny flexing rings over Nick. This is a great stream. I mean, Danny has more rings than all of us combined this year. So I feel like he does have a little room to talk. What is Kansas City's record? I think they are 5-3, 6-3. I think they're 5-3 because we're 2.5 ahead of them, and we're 8-1. So I think they're 5-3. I think they've already had their bye week. Nick Chubb isn't even the best running back in this division. Cook. Here's my justification. The Jets have Nick Chubb. Nobody else has Nick Chubb. That's fair. But are we sure he's significantly ahead of the likes of Josh Jacobs and Sean Tucker? Even if you think he's better than those guys, he's not like a tier above, which I would put both of those guys ahead of Chubb. Did we see what Sean Tucker did against the Chiefs? When he's in the zone, he can literally win a team the game. So even though I think the Jets had the tools to make a run, they just have so many questions. Did I get out my trump card against you if you keep speaking about my glorious king Nick Chubb? What trump card do you have? I'm confusion. Is there something I'm forgetting? The season alone kills my win-loss record. Maybe you shouldn't have traded Lamar Jackson. Just a thought. 28-0. I've heard 28-0 100 times. I can't get hurt by that anymore. That was 10 months ago. Nick Chubb, you are a Seattle Seahawk. Just get him off the Jets. My OFL 23 run gains more aura, I can't speak, more aura by the day when you consider I only lost to Danny once in 5 seasons. That is pretty impressive, considering the last 2 years that Niners team was pretty good. What a move by Jacobs! A move again! But it doesn't matter. Nick Chubb is better than him, guys. He just juked out 2 guys for a 32-yard run to tie the game. Yet he's not the best running back in the division. I don't want to hear it. That was sick. It looked like a slow start for the Dildos, but to start the second quarter, there you go. Jonathan Taylor does not clear. Not a chance. Last year's Jonathan Taylor, you can make the argument. This year's Jonathan Taylor, no shot. Jonathan Taylor, I don't think he's top like 6 or 7 this year. I would pick Saquon over him. For now, I would pick Derrick Henry over him. Henry doesn't exactly have age on his side, although a lot of these guys don't. I would pick Nick Chubb over Jonathan Taylor. I would pick Sean Tucker over Jonathan Taylor. There might be a couple others, too. Flowers under pressure. Rookie on rookie crime. The top offensive rookie in this class is sacked by the top defensive one, Tyson Tyler. Let's go Ducks. Joe Mixon's better than Jonathan Taylor. I would agree with that, too. Josh Jacobs is a Matt Corral merchant. I'm going to ask you to, first of all, go back by like a minute. Second of all, Josh Jacobs and Matt Corral like barely played together. Because we would have traded for Josh Jacobs, I think, in the 3rd season, which was Matt Corral's last year. So they barely played together to begin with. Because we had Joe Mixon for the first half of OFL 23. And then I wanted to upgrade from him, so we got Josh Jacobs. So him and Corral were barely together to begin with. This is some NASTA agenda pushing, considering everything you guys have said is wrong. How can he be a Matt Corral merchant when he was mostly with Daniel Godley, who apparently everyone thinks is not good? Respect my running back. I will not respect him until he plays like an actual top 5 running back. Which so far this cycle he has been good, but he has not played at the level that he was last year with Buffalo. The trade package for some of these dudes that they sent for JT says otherwise. Yeah, but they would also be smart to send those packages for Josh Jacobs and Sean Tucker. The only reason why I guess they're doing it with JT is they think he might be more available. Which is probably true, because I don't see why the Dildos would trade Josh Jacobs, and I am not trading Sean Tucker for anything. Dan Smirnov, Godley. Why are you comparing Godley to those 2 guys? That's like a compliment for Godley to be in the same conversation as them. That's nasty agenda pushing because it makes Godley look good. Obviously, Dan and Smirnov clear him by far. We're all forgetting about the best running back of OFL 23, Antonio Gibson, Seahawks legend, and Vikings legend from OFL 22, before I upgraded from him too. You can't name 5 running backs better than Jonathan Taylor. All right, in no order. Sean Tucker, Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, Joe Mixon, that's 5. Derrick Henry's better. Bijan Robinson's probably better. Kenneth Walker's better. There's 8. There's probably a couple more I'm missing. But we're at 8. I would argue Najee Harris. No, Jonathan Taylor is better than Najee Harris. Bijan does not clear 90% of that list yet. In 2 years, maybe. Oh, Christian McCaffrey. Yes, how could I forget him too? He clears Jonathan Taylor. Duh. Bijan might clear 90% of the list in 2 years, but he's not better than Tucker. He's not better than Jacobs. I don't think he's better than Chubb yet. He's probably not better than McCaffrey. I would still pick Joe Mixon over him. And I think you slide Bijan in at 6. But in a year from now, he might be like 2 or 3. Dan and Smirnov, Chubb and Jake. Well, why are we comparing quarterbacks to running backs? That's like a weird comparison. Like, sure, maybe those guys are better, I guess. But who's the polar bear? How are there 3 or 4 polar bears? Who did I say is not as good as Jonathan Taylor? Big stop. Jacobs doesn't get it. Isaiah Buggs brings him down. They'll be able to take the lead, but they're only going to get 3. On my hands and needs, that Achane, how would he go up? What has he done to deserve to move up? Why are we sneaking in CMC? Those are the polar bears? Not like Kenneth Walker or Joe Mixon? Those guys are the polar bears? Oh my God, that's crazy. Those 3 guys are top 5. Mixon in OFL 22 Season 5 clears every OFL running back ever. That honestly might be true. I won't argue against that. But those are 3 of the better guys who I listed. If you said Kenneth Walker was the polar bear, that's one thing. Bijan clears most of them now, not taking him over Chubb, CMC, or Jacobs. I think Sean Tucker is faster. Sean Tucker has at least like 92, 93 speed. Because in real life, he's really fast. I don't think I touched his speed much. Maybe I upped it by 1 when I made the roster to begin with. But he's like really fast to begin with. Bijan's definitely a better receiving back. I'll give you that. I prefer power backs, which is why I would obviously lean like Sean Tucker. But Bijan does have him beat in the receiving aspect comfortably. Seeing Sean Tucker and watched, he looked crazy. That's why I would pick Sean Tucker over any running back in the league now. And I think Jacobs is the only one I would be willing to have a discussion on. I would still comfortably pick Sean Tucker. But I think all time, I would still have to go with like Pioneer Joe Mixon, for example. OFL 20, Todd Gurley is the best running back I've ever seen. He's first, and there's no discussion. Yes, Nick and I had the exact same idea at the same time. No one is better than Chiefs Todd Gurley. That dude was a glitch. JMO goes out, we run a jet sweep for Nelson Aguilar. EA Sports is in the game. Nice tackle. Tony Pollard does not get the first down. Trent McDuffie again. So it's a preference on Bijan, versatility versus outright rushing production. Yeah, I think with Tucker being like a 97 in X Factor, he should be the guy who people would lean towards. But if you do prefer versatility in receiving, then Bijan obviously has him beat there. But in terms of pure rushing production, I don't think it's, at least as of now, I don't think it's very close. I think it will be a lot closer in like 2 years when Bijan's like a 98. But I would guess their speed is at least like 1 or 2 off. In favor of Sean Tucker, that is. I saw Todd Gurley at 506 rushing yards by week 4. That sounds about right. No one is better than him. No one. No one touches him. I'm curious to see if Sean Tucker this year can ever come close to him. Because I think there's a chance. It would take a lot. But I think there's a chance, seeing what he did against the Chiefs. Tyson Tyler, his second sack of the game, that's going to put him in the zone. There has been, like, no creativity with Seattle's play calling the entire game. They have not, like, looked downfield very often at all. They are wasting Mr. Flowers. Stop glazing. I think it's possible. I didn't say it was likely. But if anybody's going to do it, I'm just saying. Did you see what he did against the Chiefs? As that wraps up the first half, 7-10, Dildos ahead. This game looked like it was all Seattle early. They had the interception, they had the big rushing touchdown by Warren Flowers, and ever since then, things have fallen apart. Why did Nathan Rourke have to win Vegas the game? Do we think he would be doing better in Vegas? I mean, I guess the Raiders are better, probably, but he would be in our conference. Do we really want that? Eileen, versatility with guys, yeah, like Debo, Gibson. So I guess that is kind of like your mantra. So in that case, I can understand the preference of Bijan over a Tucker, a Jacobs, a Chubb. Did I already say Chubb? I might have, but you get the point. Whereas I've always preferred like the power backs who just give you consistent rushing production, who will also happen to be like athletic enough to break off the big one. But both of our strategies work, clearly. Good throw. That was dangerous. Octi rigged it, definitely. Shamrocks Ravens was the greatest OFL game ever. It's up there. I don't think I can say it's one, but it's up there for sure. That one's got to be at least like top 5. I would say OFL 22 has like a few really good candidates. Remember the Chiefs-Wizards playoff game in the snow between Mahomes and Allen, where the two teams scored like 120 points? That game was crazy. I can think of the Beats, I think, Shamrock playoff game as well. That was also ridiculous. Obviously, the Ravens Shamrocks AFC Championship game is up there. I think my first OFL Bowl win over New England certainly up there. I would say this year's OFL Bowl's got to be up there. The Danny Gray game. And speaking of... That's not Danny Gray. Why did I think that was? That's Jackson Smith and Jigba, who I guess is back in the lineup. I thought he was still injured. I guess not. But he is in for the touchdown. Wide open. Nobody was back deep to cover him. Cowboys, Seahawks 1, 2, and 3 are all in the top 15. I would say the one thing, I would say the most classic game was the one with the Hail Mary and the Jordan Davis stop. I don't think that game, I would rank it super highly because it was a simcast. The ending was ridiculous. But since that game was a simcast and it wasn't close, I don't think I'd be able to rank it super highly. But the ending was incredible. Josh Downs got hurt, so JSN came in mid-game. I saw that Downs got hurt, but I think you have enough receivers on the roster to where an injured guy wouldn't have to come in. And if JSN was healthy, he'd be first on the depth chart because Madden is actually good with resetting the depth charts after injuries this year. So, I don't know how that could have happened, but oh well. Clearly don't remember Panthers playbook Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb wasn't even the best running back in the league that year. He was a playbook merchant. That was the year that Josh Jacobs broke the rushing title with a week to go in the season. 3rd and 4. Look at Flowers. Oh, it's incomplete. That would have been fire. I had 3 receivers injured. Okay, well, in that case, fair enough. You got me. I remember the good old days of that 2026 Nighthawks team that won a whole one playoff game, which, I mean, one's more than none. Chubb set the scrimmage yard record. He also got the ball 100 more times than Josh Jacobs. So, sure, he broke the scrimmage yard record, but I would rather a little bit more, or I shouldn't even say a little bit, quite a bit more efficiency than someone who breaks the record out of being force-fed. While Chubb was still very good. I'm not going to act here and say he wasn't. But I'm just saying, he got the ball a lot less. Or a lot more. Speaking is hard. Black Knights versus Huskies was a good one. You're right, that was one of the Hail Mary games. OFL 22 was the year of the Hail Mary because we had at least a dozen. I feel like I remember that game being a simcast, though. But I do remember that play. Nick Chubb being the best receiver on that Cowboys team. I think he was third at best. Let's slow down. It's not like he had 1,200 yards. He was a Panther playbook merchant that was not as efficient as the running back who still ran for... Jesus Christ, controller. Who still ran for quite a bit more yards. He was not as efficient as the running back who ran for quite a bit more yards with, I think, less carries. All right, now we're back. There we go. So you mean to tell me you tend to give the... I'm not saying it's a bad strategy. We should have given the ball to Jacobs more that year. But I'm saying, you shouldn't punish a guy for not getting the ball as much. I would rather 2,200 yards of rushing and 400 yards receiving-wise on 6.5 yards per carry than 1,800 yards rushing and 900 yards receiving on 5.5 yards a carry. Count the rings. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's almost the whole hand. I don't remember anyone running that playbook and getting the same result. Yeah, because it's Nick Chubb. I didn't say he was bad. He was at minimum third last year. Obviously, he was great. KC playbook is cancer. The weird thing about that is the Steelers, I think, ran the KC playbook last year in the playoffs, and their offense I felt like was really good. They went to the tight end a lot, and they consistently stretched the field. The Chargers come back down 24-3. It was fun, too. That was also mostly a simcast game, though. I feel like we can't rank a simcast game that highly on the all-time games list. Although that was a fun storyline. Maybe not so much fun for me, but unbiasedly, that would be a highly ranking game if we watched the whole thing. L plus ratio plus Coke. You guys cannot hurt me with 28-0. I've heard it a bajillion times. We need new material. Darnell Washington is also him, in fairness. That's a good point, but Tommy Chambers should also be him. I may have the best watched pass rush in the league. It's got to be up there. With Tyson Tyler and Conan Mias only getting better, look out. Oh my God, what a throw. He did a full 360 and lets it rip for Jackson Smith and Jigba. Holy cow. Sam Howell in this game is confirmed nasty. What do I think the Niners' future is? Honestly, I think it's a lot better than people think. As long as you're able to kind of maintain McCord for a little while, you should be pretty good for most of this cycle. Warren would have got -15. That could not be more true. He would have gotten sacked. What is with the jet sweeps? I had the exact same question. The Dildo offense has been phenomenal, other than the early interception and the jet sweeps. Oh my goodness, did you guys see 26 just get mauled? What a block! Do I think he can bounce back next year? I think it's possible, but it's going to be hard. The Ravens should be good again. I think the Browns' success is not a flash in the pan. I think they're going to be good for a while. Their roster is well-rounded, and Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson. Am I the problem? We need to pull out the LeBron tweet. Second and 5. Here's Jacobs up the middle, and Mike Clay Thompson. Jeez, he's calling himself washed now. It's over. The Bengals are mid. Yeah, but the other two teams are really good. And I think will stay good. And the Bengals still have a talented roster. Who knows about Bobby Strickland's development? Second and 10, wide open is JSN. He is in for a touchdown. 24 unanswered points for the Dildos, and this is a 3-score game. I'm impressed by their offense. The reason why this team was so good last year in the playoffs was all the turnovers. They have forced 0 turnovers today. And they haven't needed any. It hasn't mattered. So the Dildos are reminding us that even though their record's kind of mediocre and they've had some bumps in the road this year, they are one of the premier contenders in the AFC. Although, hold on. Tyson Tyler with his 3rd sack of the game. 4th and goal. Or now it's 4th and goal. And they don't get it. Okay, now the game is over. So the Dildos win it 27-14. Good stream for them. They go 2-0. Sam Howell's 5-0 as a starter. OFL 22 Season 5 was the best season ever. That was a really fun year. Yeah. Crazy MVP race. Was that the Rams and Ravens OFL Bowl? That was a great game. Sam Howell had a phenomenal performance, minus the interception. As for Warren Flowers, he was okay. I feel like the loss shouldn't be put on him because I think the offensive play calling was really bad. So I'm willing to give him a pass. Josh Jacobs with a big game because he is that guy. J-Mo with some big numbers late. Jackson Smith and Jigba played really well. Clearly he's healthy. I don't know why I thought he was still injured. But he's good, clearly. Only 1 catch for Tommy Chambers. Defense did a good job with him. 2.5 sacks for the rookie, Tyson Tyler. He is very good. And an interception for the rookie, Finn Harrison. Am I an okay coach now? Okay doesn't do it justice. I don't think I can count on one finger the amount of coaches who have done a better job in this cycle alone than you so far. It's at most like 4. And if you want to count team success, then the number is 0 because you have the championship and no one else does. All right, let's simulate. What do I have to do to return to relevancy? I don't know, win? I'm one of those coaches. Technically speaking, you haven't lost yet, so maybe. The Bears lose to the Voyagers. Oh, that's a surprise. Thanks for helping my draft pick, I guess. So the Voyagers are keeping things interesting in the AFC East, and that still looks like a 4-way race. Bengals beat the Steelers 19-14, and the rough season for the Steelers continues. Bobby Strickland plays well. Jaime Calhoun, not so much. 3 interceptions for the rookie. Angelo Alvarado continues to struggle as well. He's been a disappointment, I feel like, this year. I would still be excited about Alvarado's future, but he has not been all that impressive. The Black Knights lose to the Dreadnoughts in overtime. Again, all this team does is play close games. 4 scores for Justin Fields. Solid game out of Anthony Richardson and Brian Robinson. The Blues lose to the Hogs. Quite the day for the Hogs. They win 2 division games, including beating the Condoms. So many good teams in the AFC. I best not hear the NFC's better, because they are not even close. Broncos country. Let's cry. 31-14. The Chargers continue to own the Broncos in the regular season. That is. Jameis Winston has finally been stopped. We have cracked the code that nobody else has. Regular day in the office for Sean Tucker. Another game from Hollywood Hargrove performing well. Love to see it. Tre'Davious White and Asante Samuel Jr. now with the interceptions. Browns lose to the Giants. Look at crack go. The Browns lose their first game since week 1. Crack is going to have some fun words for you guys. I'm excited to see what he's going to have to say over the next couple of days. And he has every right to talk. 2-0 with him. They just beat one of the best teams in the league. Bulls, bye week. Caps lose to the Cowboys. Dak Prescott's first game back in Dallas proves to be a success. Crack's a better coach than he confirmed. Well, right now, Crack, I guess, is better than all of us, technically. 0 losses. Carolina playbook will always find its way back. Bijan better get 1,000 receiving yards this year or else I'm throwing hands. The Cardinals beat the Rams 29-28. Nick and Ader suggested we put this game on the poll. For God knows what reason. But he said we should put it on for the Tank Bowl. And it looks like the Raiders win the Tank Bowl because the Rams lost the game. Jahmyr Gibbs and Jalen Waddle both played very well. As the Cardinals now have 3 wins and the Rams still have 1. Chiefs lose to the Falcons. Atlanta wins their first game since week 1. 1-8 now. Hashtag sad. Welcome to the Frank era, guys. Raphael Coleman continues to be a dog. I would say he should be the favorite for the Rookie of the Year right now because none of the quarterbacks have been, like, elite. Hollywood Hargrove's playing better, but he has not been at the level of Raphael Coleman. Not even close. Commanders lose to the Eagles. Philadelphia gets back on track. Alpo pulled a great game. Aiden O'Connell, not so much. I guess Stafford got hurt. Is Aiden O'Connell lower than or higher than Trey Lance? That can't be right. Huh. Oh, well. Antonio Gibson pretty solid. DeAndre Hopkins with a good game, while Marvin Mims scores 4 times. L'Jarius Sneed as well with 2 picks. Condoms. Oh my God! Talk about a response! 56-3! I tried to tell you guys about the Titans. Everybody was ranking them highly. I said, no, no, no. This team sucks. They started off 3-0. I kind of held my stance. I figured they were better than I thought, but I still didn't think they were very good. And, yeah, clearly I was right. Joe Burrow played very well. Tyler Waters played very bad, as you can expect. Travis Etienne and Rico Dowdle each scored twice. Why is Khalil Shakir so good? Quentin Johnston with a big game as well. I feel like my stock on the Condoms has gone up today, even though they lost. Cowboys won. Dreadnoughts won. Eagles won. Falcons finally won. You should start Teddy Bridgewater for the Titans. The Titans are like 3-6. They might as well just ride it out with the rookie at this point. The Condoms wide receiver has the power of friendship. Clearly. And it is working. They have the vibes. Huskies lose to the Jets 28-31. So the Jets and Dildos build a little bit to their lead in the division. Will Levis played, honestly, a really good game minus the turnovers. Cocky Butt Cannon was pretty solid. 4.5, no touchdowns for Chubb. Interesting. The note taker will be taking notes. Greg Dortch played out of his mind. Chris Olave did as well. Debo was kind of quiet in his Husky debut. Or his second game. I thought they had a bye week last week. They didn't. Chidobe Awuzie with an interception. Lions had a bye week. Panthers had a bye week. The Raiders keep it close with Baltimore. They lose 34-31 in overtime. Jordan Love. Why does Jordan Love only play really well in the games that they lose? He's like Puma Whitlock. He plays outstanding when the teams lose, and he's average when the team wins. I don't get it. Bryce Young with a strong game. He did throw 2 interceptions, but overall a really good performance. Derrick Henry played well. DK played well. Amon-Ra was better than last week. Richard Rivers with 16 tackles. Big Tuna, shout out. Micah Parsons, 4 sacks, 2.5 for Carl Lawson. 2 picks for Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think that's everyone. Yeah. Although I just want to see this again one more time. 56-3. Jeez. How did that team start 3-0 to begin with? Jordan Love is like Jared Goff last season. Really good. But yeah, exactly. I think the Raiders are better than the Blues last year. Although the Blues started off really well. But I do think this Raiders team is pretty good. Players of the week, Alpo Pohl, Joe Burrow, L'Jarius Sneed, and Micah Parsons. I'm only speaking the truth. He's censoring your truth. Your truth is wrong, but you are being unfairly censored. All right, here's a look at the standings. Browns are only up by a game. Still, I would say, is more successful day for the Browns than the Ravens, considering Cleveland beat them. But a good week for Baltimore. They're back within 1. In the South, Condoms and Hogs continue to keep this as a 2-way race. Dildos and Jets with a little separation now over these two, while the Chargers are building some separation in the West. We won and everybody else lost. The Bears still lead the North, even though the North sucks. Panthers add to their lead in the South with the Caps and Bulls losing. The Eagles add to their lead in the East, although the Cowboys and Giants are knocking on the door. Much better division than it was last year. And then the Niners still comfortably lead the West with Seattle losing. And the Rams in dead last. All right, we'll take a look at awards. We're going to do stats next stream. I saw somebody ask for team ratings. We can do that. And we can take a look at quarterback stats, I guess, if you guys want. Going through rosters, I've noticed that the Chiefs, interestingly, are an 87. Now they're an 89. Holy cow. So for right now, they have passed the Chargers and the Niners for the top record in the game. Good for them. All right, we can do QB stats, and we can look at the awards as well. We should probably do it by rating. There we go. Joe Burrow is in first, followed by Sam Howell, Trevor Lawrence, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. MVP frontrunner in the middle of the pack. I would like to think that... that's the wrong button. I would like to think that Jalen Hurts won't be the MVP frontrunner. I would think. I feel like you got to put Joe Burrow ahead of him. Who is last among the starters? Tyler Waters. That would make a lot of sense. The rushing leader, Sean Tucker, is already over 1,000 yards. Although in terms of yards per game, Joe Mixon is essentially even. Josh Jacobs, 868, 5.1. Chubb, 791, 4.6. The observer is observing. I guess we can do league-wide stats. We're not going to do team stuff, but we can show the whole league. Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert, flirting versus harassment. At least Jalen Hurts won his poorly performed watch game. They're both mid, but no one is mid with aura. He's a mid QB, but he's my mid QB, damn it. Can't go 5 seconds without mentioning Jake and Chubb. Nope. I'm going to continue to mention it because it's funny. Because everything I'm saying is true. Or at least everything, numbers-wise, I'm saying is true. I mean, I guess my opinion is objective. But the stats and whatnot are, like, I guess, factual. Jalen Hurts is Herbert with aura. Are you saying that Justin Herbert doesn't have aura? That's very incorrect. Please respect my Duck Canes aura. Minka Fitzpatrick with 5 picks. Good for him. NFC. I don't think there's going to be as many guys high in terms of big sack numbers. Yeah, no. Not in OFL. Fair enough. The Jets game is my Super Bowl. I thought the Chargers game was your Super Bowl, and you lost by like 30. Only perfect kickers left are Brandon Aubrey and Evan McPherson, who's only had to kick 5 field goals. Most punts is with the Giants, least punts is with the Voyagers. That's kind of a surprise. Rupert Roy has the only kick return touchdown. We saw that and watched. Punt return touchdowns for Calvin Austin, Tyreek Hill, and Kavontae Turpin. Bench your starters for 1 game. Why would I do that? Absolutely not. How is Jalen Hurts in second? What are we doing, EA? I appreciate the respect, but realistically, Sean Tucker should be higher than Jalen Hurts, first of all. Second of all, pretty much all these guys should be ahead of Jalen. Giddy Coach of the Year? That seems pretty fair to me. AFC Offensive Player of the Year, Sean Tucker. Jalen Hurts should still not be in second. Max Crosby, D-point. I can't read. Nick Bosa is the D-point. Jaleel Jefferson, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think he leads the league in receptions. He's having himself quietly a really good year. Tyson Tyler, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Makes sense. He's mid with aura. Apparently, aura is giving him a lot of points here. Did I just see Isaiah Pacheco top 10 for Offensive Player of the Year? Yeah, how is that an issue? Interesting. The observer is observing. The game's glazing even harder than Octi. That's impressive. Shout out EA. Yay, Tre'Davious White. Woohoo! And Evan McPherson. NFC. David Montgomery is the Offensive Player of the Year. Monty's been good this year, but he has not been better than Joe Mixon. Or even Raphael Coleman. Or Justin Jefferson. Chubb really lives rent-free in your head. You might have to charge him. I am not going to charge him. Sorry. Monty was garbage. He definitely was not first last stream for Offensive Player of the Year, I don't think. So the fact that he went up with a bad day is impressive. He definitely belongs in the top 10, but 1 is absolutely rich. All right, we're not doing team stats today, as I said. Hector asked for picks. We can show picks real quick. Raphael Coleman's really good. That I don't really have a problem with. Let's look at his numbers again just so we can have a reference. Justin Herbert, 8th best quarterback. There's some bad QBs. That's not Coleman. That's Lamar Duckett, who's also really good. Coleman only a star. I thought he was higher for some reason. I thought his numbers were a little better. These are still absurdly good, best receiver in the league numbers. I thought they were a little higher though. Alpo is 3rd in MVP and should be 2nd. I guess in that case, I didn't realize he was 3rd, and he should be ahead of Jalen Hurts. Mike Williams signed with the Jets. Damn, I hate it here. Looks like Josh Reynolds is coming home. I still think I almost called him Mike Reynolds. I think Mike Williams still has something left in the tank. He was playing well last year before he got hurt. Which, albeit that was 3 games. But if he can come back from the knee injury, that's a great signing. The Jets have quietly, I feel done really well to help their offense. The tackle duo is old but good. They are relying on some older players here, which is a little bit of an issue. But if these guys can play at the level that they have last year, then I think that this offseason could be a real win for them. And now that they don't desperately need a big X receiver or an offensive tackle, they can kind of have some flexibility with 10. They could still go tackle or receiver because, these guys are old. Look at all these draft picks. Positive draft capital belonging to the Chargers. Love to see it. Shouldn't Vegas hit the top pick? They should, but Madden usually updates the pick list a week later. So it might have Atlanta as number 1. But we know that Vegas right now would have the number 1 pick. Brock at 10, that works too. The more and more I think about it, the more and more I think he slips a little bit because of all the really good players at premium positions, a.k.a. receiver and tackle, and at least one of the defensive players. So that feels like a very realistic possibility. I saw a stat the other day with how much Aaron Rodgers throws to his tight ends throughout his career, and hint, hint, the tight end numbers across the board were not good. But Brock Bowers was also unique. So, who knows? I could see it. If LA keeps thinking it up, we could have had a Flowers-Mendez backfield. A running back at 1. What happened to Sham? I get that running back positional value is really high in this game, but, like, unless he's a 90, I don't know. Maybe he is a 90. Who knows? We'll see. Tyron and Moses are not the future. You don't think 35-year-old Tyron Smith is the future? Mendez is by far the best player in this class. What if we're being lied to? Damn, the Hogs have less picks than I thought. They don't pick on day 1 or 2 until 2027. I mean, at least they're good. Steelers also do not have any first... They don't have any first-round picks, period. Wow. Interesting. All right, there you go. Let's take a look at weeks 11 and 12, and then that will wrap it up. That's the wrong button. There we go. So we already kind of have an idea of what these games look like. There are some good ones. In particular, Browns-Ravens again. They play week 12. Condoms-Hogs again. They play in week 11. Can I have Debo for a 2027 one? Debo's not on my team anymore, big guy. I unironically did trade him for a 2027 first-round pick, though. I also got a lot more than that, but still. For the memes, please do. We're not watching the Rams. The Rams are bad. Win some games, and then you'll be on the poll. I get that being watched is your best chance of winning, but win some games, and then maybe just maybe, we'll pick you. So, yeah, that'll wrap up the stream. Next stream is probably going to be Thursday or Friday, depending on what people want. And, yeah, peace out.